Oh, something happened. Did that work? Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, finally it worked. I didn't think it would work.
How are you doing?
A lot better now. Now that I can see you, it's a lot better. Yeah, I just wanted to get in contact with you because I saw your channel and I noticed that you have a very similar way of doing things. I've been watching your videos all day and I've been seeing how you mentioned that you wanted to do your performance at America's Got Talent. You wanted to do it to open people's awareness to the possibility that they could do stuff. And I noticed you said that everybody had special heads, and I wanted to more get in depth as to how it is that you ended up doing that, or at least your main motivation and focus as to why it is you wanted to do that on America's Got Talent, basically.
Um, well, going on America's Got Talent for me was I was a street performer making a living, and everybody was telling me to go on America's Got Talent, and my people told me not to go on the show because they're actually really harsh. They kind of treat performers poorly.
Right?
They There's just a lot of things that they do to performers. Um, the reason why I went on the show is because my grandparents really loved that show, and I knew that it would make them really happy. Um, the reason why I'm a performer and why I'm not concerned with becoming rich as a performer is because I had a very unique upbringing and I received spiritual guidance um, that I think other people can learn from and grow from in a positive way. Um, not trying to put myself above anybody or put myself on a higher spiritual level, but I had a very unique upbringing, and I want to use my performances to one, people will want to learn from me, want to know what makes me tick, and I'll be able to explain to them what I learned growing up as a kid, and also I want to bring people together and bring people's awareness about that world peace is possible.
Okay. That's that is literally everything that I do on my channel. And I also teach people how it is that I did it, and I try to teach them the skills that I used. I tend to use astral projection as my skill, and I tend to get people to do that because I reckon by getting people out of their body, they could see how things actually are. And sometimes it can scare them. I can see how they think that off the media, off watching TV and stuff like that, like all the ghosts and all the negative stuff they see on TV. But I was just curious, how do you expect for your channel to grow in a way that will get other people seeing your message, or at least in that same ballpark when it comes to them wanting to grow spiritually, just by seeing you as an example?
Um, well, I think that a lot of the spiritual problems in the world are caused by or religious extremism.
Yeah.
A lot of the fighting in the world is caused by religious extremism, and I I believe that there needs to be a spiritual revolution. Some of my videos are for fun, and honestly, the stuff that I did on America's Got Talent, one of my goals is to just to entertain people, to make people laugh, to make people happy. People come to a show, people tune into my channel. They just want to be entertained. They want to, escape from the problems in their world. Um, but the thing about okay, you're familiar with George Carlin,
No, I'm not.
the comedian George Carlin?
I'm familiar
I
with.
think that comedy is one of the best ways to um, promote social messages or change people's minds socially. Because if you come at them with a straightforward, okay, we need to change politics, we need to change society in these ways, and are very serious about it, it it turns a lot more people off.
Mm,
Versus if you're able to use satire in a funny way, um, to in a way that entertains people, you're able to slip in a deeper message without making people feel like you just tried to change their minds.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't try to enforce things upon people because they tend to like flip me the bird or tell me to look the other way. I tend to use situations they're already familiar with so that they can understand it from my level, and then they're more suggestible to listening to what I have to actually say. And then they can understand me from my level rather than them thinking I'm trying to impose something upon them that they don't actually need to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, oh, I created this thing. You can interpret it how you will. It's just like if you come at people like I'm trying to change your opinion on the subject, people usually pull away
Yeah,
and want to go to the other side on the issue.
yeah,
Extremism tends to push people that are in the middle further to the other side. So I feel like it's almost easier. Like if you have a political opinion and there's an opposing force, it's actually easier to persuade people by pretending to be your opposition and just making them look really bad. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
I know what you mean.
like I don't know. It's like if somebody's in the middle and you come at them from an opposite side, from an extreme point of view, it will push them further away from you. It will actually do more harm for your cause than good.
I've noticed that in my household actually with my family. I went raw vegan about 4 years ago. Well, not raw vegan, vegan. I'm trying to go fully raw, but it's difficult. And I started like promoting it to my family members how healthy it is and how easier it is and how lighter you feel and how much your weight you start clicking on. And then the more they saw me eating my foods or the more they saw me try to tell them what their food was doing to them, the less they listened and the harder it got for them to change and the more they started to like dive in deep with the foods that they were already eating. So they actually exploded and went a lot worse, like a lot bad, if you know what I mean. I tried to
Uh
get
huh.
them to do something better and it made it really bad for them anyway.
And are you in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, I'm in London.
I for some reason I thought you were in London. I was trying to figure out where is this guy at.
Trying to play some accent.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, it's definitely an English accent. Um, but yeah, no, it's I do a lot of different things. I do the music. I'm wanting to. The funny thing is, I'm looking at what YouTube channels are doing really well, and the ones that have the highest subscribers are these gaming channels,
Yeah, like PewDiePie.
and these channels where people just sit in front of the camera and talk, and it's because they're able to come out with a video once a day, and also a lot of their hardcore fans are people that either play the video game a lot at the same time as them.
Hmm.
So they'll be playing a video game and commenting on the video game, and then their fan will play that same video game and play the entire duration of the videos, right? So a lot of the people that do these more entertaining videos where you're doing like a magic trick or a prank in public or a comedy video, or just you're setting up hidden cameras and you're pranking people. People that watch those videos are the ones that are just watching videos really quickly. They have a shorter attention span, so
Yeah,
they click off the video faster. Versus the ones where the guys make longer videos where they're playing a video game or talking for a long time. Their subscribers watch their video for a lot longer period of time, and YouTube's algorithm is set up to promote your video to push it up in the ranking based on how long people watch it for.
hmm.
So I'm going to start making more videos where I'm just talking about my beliefs, um, where I'm just talking about meditation or different things where it's just me sitting in front of the camera. And I strayed away from that for a while because I wanted to put a lot of effort into these videos I was making and, really do a good show, do a good performance. But people keep asking me questions. I just put out a video just today because everybody keeps asking me if I smoke marijuana, if I do drugs,
Yeah,
or they tell me, "Oh, you make me feel better about smoking weed," and I'm like, "I don't smoke weed," So I wanted to make this video where I tell people hey, I don't smoke weed, guys. Like, this is what I think about marijuana.
Yeah, exactly. I do talk about drugs in one of my videos because a lot of people also thought that I did loads of drugs, mainly because the color of my skin. They expect loads of. They put me in boxes from the way that I look, maybe where I'm from. And I did a video on drugs saying how when it comes to psychedelics and spiritual drugs, you should only really do them once. Like the shamans, if they would do them, they'd do them once. And they would only do it so that they can deliberately put themselves in that conscious mindset afterwards, like without the drug. And then they can do it whenever they want over and over and over again. And when I
Uh-huh.
posted that video, a lot of people resonated with it and got what I had to say. But a lot of people did blow up on my comments and say that I was wrong because they're so used to doing it over and over again. And doing it over and over again, it melts your brain. Because I've had friends
Yeah.
who were really wired in school. We'd chat a lot, and then I'd watch them throughout their entire life, like as we were growing up, and they would just start going slower and slower, and they'll start speaking slowly. They'll start to forget a lot of things, and it's like you talk to a different person completely. I mean, it's terrible. What do you think about
Yeah.
like psychedelics, though?
What?
What do you think about psychedelics, though? Like DMT or stuff like that?
I was raised. Um, the first time I took any drug, my father took me camping, and he
Yeah,
gave me peyote when I was 12 years old. So I went to teepee ceremonies with shaman when I was a teenager, when I was 12 and 13 years old, at a really young age. And yeah, I completely agree with you that when you abuse psychedelics, it fries your brain, and it's kind of like I definitely think that some businessman that doesn't have any spiritual beliefs or is completely logical, doesn't believe in God, that they can go to Burning Man and take a psychedelic and have this spiritual experience and all of a sudden start believing in God.
mm,
Um, but it definitely, what it does is it crosses the wires in your brain, and over repeated use, it's like each time you use it, it alters your brain a little bit more, a little bit more. And people tend to be artists more often when they've taken psychedelics, like they tend to pursue art.
mm.
Um, and I do think that they can unlock creative inspiration. It can unlock creative inspiration and also make you a more interesting person. But it's also, there's a limit where if you do it, there's diminished returns to where you start to become a little bit more crazy each time you do it.
Yeah,
And some people just lose their mind completely through abuse. I mean, any drug use. People that smoke crack or too much or do methamphetamine, they go crazy. They lose part. It messes their brain up. So I try to stay on a relatively sober path, a healthy path. Um, I'm really happy that I stopped smoking weed, stopped smoking cigarettes. I've been really pure for a while. I go to saunas, sweat lodges a lot. Do a lot of, still even the food that I eat in America isn't the best food. So, and I breathe in pollution in Los Angeles, and I like to detox. So, that's my take. I kind of rebelled from my hippie parents.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
You know, my mom was a hippie too. She keeps telling me, she keeps showing me photos and everything of the 70s. Thinking of consciousness, I want to get into your head, like, because I saw you play as a special head, and you were saying on stage how everybody had special heads. Now, I'm really into consciousness. I'm really into observing the self and developing yourself rather than taking the drugs and losing who you are and becoming crazy. I'd rather people just put all that stuff aside and go in themselves and become more of their own self, if you know what I mean, more of their own personality. That's what
Uh-huh.
spirituality is for me. It's like personal growth. What would you class as spirituality? Like when
What would
it
I what?
class as spirituality, like what would you say spirituality actually was in your view?
Um, So when I said the thing about we all have special heads, so we can be masters of our universe, what I was basically alluding to is that, oh, because we are human, we
Yeah.
all have special heads. And this is a belief that I have that that a lot of my hippie friends disagree with. It's based on my upbringing as a Baha'i. I was raised in the Baha'i faith. Um, and this is one of the teachings in Baha'i and many other religions,